Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
What I like to write about mostly is human interest stories and stories about real people, because I think that the real stories and the best ones could be next door in your neighbor. You hear them on the bus. I'm always scribbling down little notes and things like that. So I like to write about real stories. That would be my biggest passion.
Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Today's episode brought to you by the Oaks at Lebanon, excellent senior living, both independent and assisted in Lebanon, Oregon, and by Willamette Valley Christian Supply in Albany, Oregon. For all your gift needs and Christian books, go to Willamette Valley Christian Supply. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. We are so glad that you're joining us today. This podcast is all about how amazing people connect. And I absolutely have an amazing person here today. And it's Yvonne Reddin from Dublin, Ireland. And I'm so excited. We've got to know each other virtually through all of this great technology that we have these days. So we're going to talk more in a minute. But first of all, I just want to say, hey, how's it going, Yvonne?
I'm very good, Russ, and thank you for having me. It's great to be on here. Delighted. Thank you.
You are so welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on. And I just really appreciate you, your positive attitude, all the great things that you're doing and moving forward during all of this pandemic. We're going to talk more about that. But first, I just want to remind everybody, I'm Russ Hedge. I'm a coach, motivational speaker, obviously a podcaster of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, and also the author of the new book. Let's see, it's that way. There we go. Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. So I'm so excited about that it's just been released. Also, I am out there coaching and helping people. And if you're interested in connecting with me, because I'm all about connection, you can go to russhedge.com and you can actually schedule time to chat with me. I would love to get to know you and talk with you and find out where you are and how I can help you. So that's russhedge.com, and I'd love to have a chat. So without any further ado, we're going to move straight on. And Yvonne, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. It's a long story, but I'll kind of shorten it as much as I can, Russ.
Okay.
I'm a freelance writer. I'm first and foremost, I'm a mammy of 3 children. I love writing, and I'm a journalist degree, and I have a teaching degree behind me, and I've done all that on my own because I'm a single mom. And I think I've got a good drive in me, and I'm very ambitious. But what I like to write about mostly is human interest stories and stories about real people, because I think that the real stories and the best ones could be next door in your neighbor. You hear them on the bus. I'm always scribbling down little notes and things like that. So I like to write about real stories. That would be my biggest passion.
Well, that is so incredible. In today's day and age, everybody really wants that authenticity, that real touch on people's lives. And I think it's been just really kind of fun through technology that everybody is actually parenting and doing things from home. And half the time you see people's families and children and all that stuff while you're doing business. And so I think that real life, like you're saying, and people's real personalities, people really want to learn about that.
Definitely. Because I suppose it's the Zoom and calls and podcasts and all, it shows the real side. I mean, I'm sitting here in my kitchen, the kids are inside. You just have to get on with it. Otherwise, and it's like what we spoke about before, you can't wait till all this is over. We have to be productive and keep focused on what we're doing right now, because this could be here for a long time. And we have to think of that as well.
Yeah, and people may not know that are in the United States that in Dublin, you guys have already, you've actually gone back to lockdown. And so you guys have less freedom to move about than at least we do here in Oregon. I know that we have a little bit more right now, but we still are, wearing masks and doing all of this stuff. And it's very secure as far as all that. But tell us how you got to doing your TLC, your Talk, Learn, and Connect, when you really, you realized there we were just stuck down with technology. What am I going to do? And you reached out and started that.
Yeah, the first lockdown. So before the lockdown, last year I went back and did a postgrad for teaching to teach adult education, and I wanted to teach creative writing classes in community centres locally to help other single parents who found it hard to get back into education and just needed a little bit of a lift and a little bit of confidence building. So I wanted to teach them the basics of creative writing and correct their grammar skills, all that kind of stuff. So I was doing that locally, just down the road from where I live. And so it was originally a teaching program that I was developing. It was called Teach, Learn and Care. And I really wanted to keep the TLC acronym because I just wanted that TLC, that softer version of writing, to show that it was all about caring and not a real hard kind of piece that I wanted to develop. So Teach, Learn and Care kind of had to go by the wayside because I couldn't teach in classrooms anymore. So I decided to change it to Talk, Learn, Connect. And I joined LinkedIn on the advice of my good friend Wendy Stunt, whom you've met before. And she said, get on there and connect with the right people, figure out what way LinkedIn is and other social media platforms, and try observe and see what platform suits you. So that's what I did. And I decided to do the TLC, Talk, Learn, Connect interview piece. And my idea was all in my head, and I put it all out to Alan Hennessy at Compass Media, and he designed the logo and how it was the format, and he really helped me with my idea. So he didn't change anything that was in my head. He put it all down visually, and it was brilliant. So Talk, Learn, Connect began from that, and it was from help from people around me as well. So that's how it began.
You know, it's interesting because through this whole community that we've built during this pandemic, it has been amazing. Everybody helping each other. What a great feeling. What a great attitude everybody has as far as trying to help everybody succeed and everybody do great. And Alan's awesome. Wendy's already been on my podcast, and Alan too. And it's just great getting to know them. I actually, my logo is David Brown out of Dublin. He did my logo.
The WordPress guy.
Yeah. And so, it's just been people that we've met and been able to work with, which has been great. Actually, Wendy was the one that came up with the idea for my big actual Zoom celebration on the 24th of November for my book. So that was great. I mean, just really great ideas sharing.
She has great ideas. And I think as well, sorry, Russ, being in the business groups is really great for connecting, but you're not going to fit into all of them. So you have to find the right one for you. Do you know what I mean? And it's finding that right community. And I love that word community. And I know you do too. Community is really important. And I think we are starting to build a community from our business groups. The Global Tea Party, we do one on a Friday, but it's finding the right one that suits you and your values. There's so many out there, but you have to see which one is directive, the perfect one for you.
Well, that's just it. There's so much available, and by finding the community that really suits you, like you said, I mean, it really helps us all move forward. Because you and I were talking about, we are positive people moving forward in spite of what's going on. In fact, what's been going on has been a positive lift for us because of the technology and all the things. And also, you learn through this journey. You're learning new things because you have to adapt and move forward.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. But I found a lot of, there's been a lot of free webinars available online. I think I've gone to most of them, to be honest with you. It's like all this knowledge is there for free. So why not take it, and I'm interested in lots of different things, and it gives me ideas for stories as well. So I think my advice to anyone is go on there and look at all the free stuff. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah. And when you and I first got connected, I was blessed to be one of the people on TLC. And we did the little written interview, and that was awesome. And I really appreciate that.
No problem. And it's a nice way to get your links up there, to get it out there in another format about what you do as well, which is supporting each other. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you had something you wanted to share this morning. So I'm going to just give it over to you for a moment here, and then we'll go from there.
Great. Okay. So We have a little bit of a connection here, a relatable interest. Well, not an interest, a family situation in relation to Alzheimer's. So we were speaking before about this. My mother got diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 63 years of age, and she rapidly got very bad. And we minded my mum at home as long as we could. I have a sister and a brother and my father, and she lasted 10 years. But it was a horrendous experience. And I wrote a couple of articles about it, and they were published in a paper over here in Dublin. But I've written a poem about how it must have been like for her, you know. So I mean, I would love to share that with your listeners, if that's okay. It's about my mum's Alzheimer's. Yeah. So it's not long, Russ. So I called it Forgetful. She peeped through the blinds as the car reversed out. Get out of my house, she wanted to shout. For who was this stranger that lay beside her in bed? So scared was she lying there as he stroked her head. In the morning he guided her, washed her and dressed her. Sometimes she just wanted him to caress her. While he washed and got ready for his job every day, a carer would come so that she wouldn't stray. She would walk around the house not knowing why so confused. She would look down at her arms and wonder why they were bruised. So many times she collapsed on a step on the stairs. The tears would come streaming as she thought nobody cares. Strangers tried to help her, but she would punch and scream in their faces. They were crying too, full of love and embraces. She froze when they hugged her, as they meant nothing, you see. All she wanted was her family to take her home and have tea. Her life feels so strange, not recognizable at all. These people who mind her, so sad as they bawl. Perhaps she thinks she knew them a long time ago, when life wasn't confusing and she could cook, clean and sew. Sadly, these things are not part of her life anymore. Her memories have gone and her head feels like it's in a war. She just wants to put her head down and close her eyes for a while and go back to a time when her life made her smile. So just a little poem. My mum was so active at home. And, you know, I found it, my whole family found it so difficult that she forgot who we were. And very quickly, she used to call myself and my sister the girls. She didn't know who we were. It was heartbreaking. And it's a heartbreaking experience to go through. It really is. You know, and it must have been very frightening for her as well, knowing something was going wrong, but not knowing how to deal with it, you know?
Yeah, it's hard. You can't even imagine. And first of all, that poem is beautiful. And
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, obviously we talked about, because my mom has Alzheimer's, and it's been yeah, it's been tough. The one the blessing with my mom is that she's, you know, being cared for very well, and I get to see her still from the outside and talk with her and sing with her. She still recognizes and knows who I am a little, but it is fading. And myself and my sister are the only two she really knows who we are anymore. And so mostly she thinks I'm my dad most of the time. But
I find it's harder for the family dealing with than them, because they don't know. So it's us. My mum thought my dad was a lodger, and then she thought he was her second husband. So that's why I spoke about it in the poem. When
yeah.
he used to go, you know, how scared was she when he was lying beside her in bed? Especially when she didn't know who he was. It must have been terrifying.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I
it's
can't.
awful.
Can't even imagine that. You know, I think before my mom got to that point, my dad passed away, so she didn't deal with that part of it. But right now, she was always so sharp and so on things. So, but what is a blessing, she was always, I get my positiveness and my upbeat from my mom, and so she has remained, even to this point, fairly for the situation. She's remained pretty good-hearted overall, and still, like I said, we still sing, which is great.
Amazing.
Just getting less and less numbers of songs, but you know, having that, you know, in that situation, you said your mom it was about 10 years that she dealt with it before she passed away.
Took her a long time. She faded. She'd go through lots of different phases and go rapidly really bad, and then it would stay like that for a while. And then, you know, her speech went very quickly. Her mobility went very quickly. Oh, it was just horrendous watching her, because she was such a strong lady, you know, and she loved learning like me. I lived in Australia for 9 years, and she taught herself how to do emails before it was so normal, and I had to learn as well. So we'd email each other, but I think I got that lifelong learning thing in me from her, because I always think that you can't stop learning in education. There's always something to learn more about, I think, isn't there? You find something.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think I got that quality from her for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. We are all lifelong learners, and I got so many great qualities from my mom, and that's what I hang on to, and I know you do too. The positive things we got from our parents and our family, and just make life a positive thing. And I really, really appreciate you and your attitude and all that. But it's going to be shocking for me to tell you that we're actually out of time.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'll have to come back then, Russ.
Yes, we'll have to do part 2. There you go. So anyway, so I want to make sure, though, that people know how to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Because not only TLC, but all the other things you're doing, people are going to want to know how to get in touch with you. So how's the best way?
Okay, so my email is Yvonne@YvonneReddin.com. You probably put up the written details.
Yep.
And thank you, Russ. And my website is www.YvonneReddin.com. And all my writing's up there to date. Now I have other stuff in the pipeline, but there's lots of stuff to read up there. And people can contact me on LinkedIn as well, on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter. I'm everywhere. A bit like yourself, Russ.
There you go. Yeah. Floating to all the social media.
Oh, you have to. You have to.
Well, we're just social people. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you, Russ.
Thank you. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you taking time today. We'll stay in touch and be talking soon, I'm sure, as my book gets closer to the 24th, hoping to see you there on the 24th. So anyway, have an awesome rest of your week. And thank you for all of you that tuned in today. We really appreciate you. We value your time. And I know that you received value today from all that you heard from Yvonne. And it's just been an awesome, awesome podcast. So until we see you again, have an awesome day and an awesome life. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.